Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you, everybody tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. It has been a minute. Let's fade that music out, man. It has definitely been a minute. I've been gone for about 2 weeks. Oh boy, it's been a rough 2 weeks, folks. It's been a rough 2 weeks. And I mean, if you know my voice by now, you could tell it's a bit, we ain't 100% there, but I really wanted to just jump on and talk to the Digipreneur FM podcast about, where the heck I have been for the last 2 weeks. And folks, it got me. The Ronas got me. It had me laid the hell out for the last 2 weeks, and I'm still getting over it. The symptoms are still there, but the worst is definitely behind me. Now, this thing is this thing is serious, man. This thing is serious. So, without divulging, too much details or names or anything like that, I got COVID-19 about beginning of the month, around November 7th, November 8th, somewhere around there is when I got exposed, and I didn't exactly know I got exposed until, well, all of a sudden I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm sweating buckets and fevers through the roof, and then it just kind of just went on from there, only to find out a couple days later that I was actually exposed to COVID-19 from other vaccinated people. And it wasn't even, I wasn't even, outside, it kind of just came to me, but it's all good. It happens. And yeah, so once I got it, man, just to kind of give you a little bit of details, if you have never had it, I mean, I think at this point, with especially here in Trinidad and Tobago, the cases are skyrocketing. They're predicting that we're going to be, our rolling average will be at 1,000 cases per day by the end of the month, which is in a couple of days. And I mean, we are well on our way there. So we are in the midst of our third wave during COVID. So I think people are just going to be bound to get it. And I mean, fingers crossed that, it's nothing too lethal, right? But for me, my experience was, I got it. I got exposed, and within 2 days of me being exposed, the fever kicked in. The fever wasn't even the worst part about it for me. The fever kicked in, normal. People hear that you have the fever and they're recommending every single remedy that you could possibly imagine for the fever. But the fever wasn't even the thing that bothered me. What was kicking my ass for about 12 days were the body pains. I don't know what on earth. People compare the symptoms of COVID-19 to the regular flu. And to me, no. I've had the flu many a time. This wasn't it. And I think everybody's experience with COVID-19 is completely different. Naturally, because you have people who are COVID-19 positive and they're asymptomatic. So they're walking around, enjoying their merry lives with no problems, no symptoms. They don't even know that they have it. And then you have, all the way up to people on their deathbed and dying and everything in between. So this ain't no flu. So for me, the body pains, once I started to get the body pains, man, I felt like I was chained up and I was being mobbed for almost 2 weeks. It felt like a mob was just out there just beating on me 24/7. There was nights where I'm here just crying like, why me? Painkillers are running out. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to survive the night? And I ain't got no painkillers. Like it was atrocious, man. But I think where I knew I had it wasn't even the fever. Like when the fever kicked in the very first night, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just sick. And if the fever kicked in, say Wednesday night going into Thursday, Friday, my sense of smell and taste had gone. And again, it's so trippy because, again, like, people like family is asking about, how are you feeling? And you're telling them fever, I can't smell. And the first thing they're thinking of is, well, go and drink this bush, go and drink. And it's like, yo, it's not that I'm not congested. I can't smell. I can't smell nothing. I'm breathing fine. And I have no problems breathing. There's something wrong. I can't smell. I can't taste. Well, yeah, the flu does come. No, it does not. And I mean, at some point, I started to get frustrated because, again, like I don't think people are taking this seriously at all. And again, we're just so accustomed to, hey, fever, drink this, drink that, boil lemongrass, boil a bacano leaf, and you're good to go. And it's like, yo, this is more than just that. And I think because people have just kind of diminished COVID-19 to just being the flu is the reason why this is not stopping the spread. Like, because we keep hearing about all the unvaccinated people. And to me, the unvaccinated people are not the problem. The only issue with the unvaccinated people that we keep hearing about is they're the ones that are critically ill and dying, right? But the reality is that the people that are spreading it are vaccinated people. Vaccinated people are spreading this thing just as and probably even more so. Now, science is showing us that the efficacy is waning over time, and this is why we need booster shots. And man, I don't even want to get into all of that, right? I just kind of want to just give you a little bit about my experience. Anyways, so once I knew that my sense of smell had gone, where, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I tried to smell something, and I'm like, oh, this has no smell. Okay. And then it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute. This is supposed to have a smell. So then I went and grabbed a scented candle, and I smelt it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't smell the scented candle. But again, it's almost finished. Maybe when it's almost finished, it loses its smell. Nah, that can't be right. Man, I went around the house smelling all of the most flavorful things I could find. I went and grabbed body oils. I put on deodorant. Like, I just started to grab things with smells. And I could not smell nothing. And that tripped me out because, like I said, I'm not congested, breathing perfectly fine. I just could not smell it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, isn't something else with COVID? Taste, loss of taste. Man, I had some Sour Patch candies in the cupboard. Grabbed some of those. I start sucking on the Sour Patch candies. I can't taste the candies. I grabbed my sunflower seeds, my salted sunflower seeds. I started to suck the sunflower seeds. I can't even taste the salt. I'm like, oh my God, we got the Ronas. We got the Ronas. So this is like a day after, the fever. So the minute I couldn't smell nothing, I couldn't taste nothing, I called the doctor. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get tested. And again, we're going through our third wave. So the doctor's like, yo, we are fully booked today. Can you come early tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, no problem. But I'm like, wow, fully booked today? Wow, okay. So then the next day I go, my appointment is right at opening hours. I go, I get the PCR test done. Now, man, that nasal swab. Listen, anybody who is unvaccinated for work and their work is requiring you to get tested every week, if you have to shove that nasal swab in your nose every single week, God help you. Because no, man, that girl pulled out that doctor pulled out that swab, and I'm just seeing the length of it. And she's measuring my nose to the back of my throat and my nasal. I don't know what she's measuring, but she's measuring how much swab she needs to shove in her to get what she needs to get. And she starts telling me, your eyes are going to water, your eyes will turn red, you might get headaches, you might feel dizzy, you might want to sneeze, you might want to... And I'm just like, man, like, yo, why is everything a problem? Why is everything with COVID a problem? To get it, it's a problem. To test is a problem. Everything is a problem. Anyways, so sit up, she arches my face a particular angle, and she shoves that swab in there. And honestly, like, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. It felt like that. I felt like doctor was shoving that swab up into my brain. I felt like she was tickling my brain. And right when I was about to cry, she was done. And then, then my eyes just started to water. My eyes got red. So like when I came home, like my eyes were bloodshot red, which apparently is again a normal thing with the PCR testing. So like I had a bit of a headache, but again, I couldn't tell if it was from that or if it was from COVID. I had the red eyes. I couldn't stop sneezing all day. It felt like something was like stuck in my nasal cavity, like the cotton was there. I don't know, but I'm just telling you how I felt, right? So, yeah, I got the results back in a couple of hours, and sure enough, I was positive. And they told me that the nurse, somebody from the COVID monitoring station or whoever, that whatever unit that is, the government would be in contact with you and do contact tracing and whatnot. And I got my quarantine order, and it's just been that for the past couple weeks. It's just been that for the past couple weeks, and the majority of the time, it came in waves. Like the issues, the COVID-19 problems came in waves. So I would get like 2 to 4 hours of like no problems. I'd get up off my bed. It felt like, oh, okay. I felt like I did not have a fever. The body pains are gone. The sweating profusely was gone. Like I felt good. In those 2 to 4 hours, I felt good. And I felt like, okay, all the crap that I'm taking is working, and I'm good. But then the wave would come, and I'd get this wave of like 4 to 10 hours of just the hardcore body pains. The fever comes back. I'm piping hot. I'm sweating profusely. Like I can't move, and again the body pains is just killing me. I felt crippled. And during those waves, like I'm just back in bed and I just can't move. I'm balled up in a ball. I'm curled up in a ball. I have the movies running. At sometimes I could watch the movies. Other times I'm paused and going to sleep, and I'm sleeping the vast majority of the day, just trying to get past the wave. And it was just rough. These past 2 weeks and change have just been rough. All right. And this is only, I think this is the third day. This is the third or fourth day of, no fever, no body pain. So that's good. Now I'm just dealing with the non-painful side effects of COVID. So I still don't have a sense of taste. I still don't have my sense of smell. The shortness of breath is still there. So like, just talking too much. So like even now I'm feeling a bit winded, but like talking too much has me feeling winded. Whenever I have to, go, I'll go outside and I'll take a little walk just to keep the blood flowing and whatnot. And walking too much just has you just winded for no reason. I'm like, nah, this is COVID because I ain't this badly out of shape. I ain't this badly out of shape. I'm walking up the stairs and man, I'm just wheezing like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. So even now, I feel about, I want to say between 70 and 80%. And I don't know, how long it's going to take for me to get past the shortness of breath and and get my taste and my sense of smell back and whatnot. I don't know. I've been reading and I've seen people that had it say that they've lost their sense of smell and taste anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months, which is wild. Talked to a couple of friends that had it, and on average they're like, yeah, 1 to 3 months. The people that I've asked, 1 to 3 months is when those things came back. But again, that's crazy to me, So anyways, again, I just wanted to just kind of come on here and just kind of give you, a little update as to, where the hell did I disappear to? What's been going on, my experience with COVID. I mean, I'm glad that now they say that, the vaccine, decreases the chance of hospitalization and, a possible chance of death. Now, I want to encourage everybody to still do their due diligence because vaccinated people are still getting sick and still going to the hospital. Vaccinated people are still spreading this virus. We don't know at what rate because I'm sure they have that information, but they're not giving it to us because they're just, they're encouraging everybody to get vaccinated nonetheless, right? But vaccinated people are still spreading this thing. I know where I got it from, and it's vaccinated people that I'm close with. So, I mean, it is what it is, but it was still from vaccinated people, right? So don't think that just because you took the jab that everything is all honky-dory and good to go. No, you could still catch it, and you are still spreading it. And chances are you're asymptomatic, and because you're vaccinated, you're moving with a level of don't care, or you've relaxed your standards and whatnot, and you could have it and be spreading it and giving it to kids, giving it to elderly. It's crazy right now, right? But anyways, that's just, again, what's been happening with me. But hopefully, not hopefully, I'm gonna be start coming back out as of next week. I've just decided, we're going into December anyway. I probably got this thing at a really good time because, I needed a break myself, and this kind of just forced me to go in park for pretty much November. My November is done. My November is done. My last podcast episode was I think November 7th or November 6th, somewhere early in the month. And I haven't really done anything for the last couple weeks, So this kind of really just forced me to park up. And I'm going to start to, come back out on social media a little bit more from next week. I'll start checking my messages and I'll start trying to create some content. But, at the same time, I'm like, man, this is a good time to just kind of relax and just coast for the rest of the year. I'm not really going to be doing any events for the rest of the year, but I mean, we only have a month left of the year before we jump into 2022. So I think it's a good time to just kind of just relax, think about what we want to do for 2022 and just chill, get my body back together, finally start to get my sexy on, just chill. So I think that's going to be, my focus for the rest of the year. It's just relax, just enjoy Just enjoy the time that we have left in this month. And yeah, anyways, I've talked enough. And again, I'm winded. So don't forget to follow me, Karen Rose, at every social media platform. Follow me over on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm going to be doing more TikTok videos and whatnot and just having more fun creating content. And don't forget to jump onto the digipreneur.fm website, subscribe to the email newsletter so that you stay up to date. And do not miss an episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. And don't forget to check out the KarenRose.com website for anything Caribbean e-commerce and building your online presence and learning how to monetize your platforms. That is it from me today, folks. Take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Karen Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Karen Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.